This chapter discusses about the basics of chemistry and chemical reactions. To notice, we can see that there are a lot of things which are constantly changing around us. For example, we have seen rust forming on a kadhai made of iron. The formation of paneer from milk could be a great example too. We are very familiar to these things, but it was a reason of wonder to the science and the scientists that what causes the change and why does the change happen. Some changes are easily reversible, but some changes are not that easily reversible. Air or some gases sometimes bubble up from liquids after the pressure is removed, but we cannot get the burnt charcoal back. Here I will repeat some points that you should remember. Those processes which are not reversible by usual physical methods and are known to create new compounds or substances are to be called chemical reactions. Here physical methods mean distillation, filtration, and centrifugation, etc. Now a question could be that how could we know that there is a new compound? Usually we check the temperature or the state or the color. If there is any change in them, usually we consider that any new compound is formed. Rusting of any metal is also a chemical reaction which is defined by the change of color. In real life, we encounter a lot of incidents or events where a lot of changes are made. As I said earlier, in real life we encounter a lot of events or incidents where a lot of changes are being made. But if we care to notice them, we could get some more insight to the science called chemistry. A good example could be the rusting of air or even how the salt dissociates or dissolves in water. In many events, the change happens due to dif- differentiation in the interaction of elements in them or even replacing them. Let's take an example. Have you ever wondered what happens when a candle burns? A lot of questions like these can be explained by how elements interact or react within themselves. A process or an event where elements react or interact within themselves to form new bonds are called chemical reactions. For example, let's take this burning candle. The elements which we see in the beginning of the reactions are called reactants, and those which are formed after the reaction is completed are called products. In case of the wax candle, wax and oxygen are the reactants, and the products are carbon dioxide and water. And yes, water is formed while burning candles. Also, there are a lot of chemical reactions going around us if we care to notice. I hope you have encountered a lot of mathematical equations before where we needed to get both of the sides same. To be more precise, a chemical equation is the symbolic representation of a chemical reaction. Here, in the left side, we put the reactants of a reaction, and on the right hand side, we put the products. Simplest way to describe a chemical reaction is a word equation. A word equation is a kind of chemical equation where we only use the names of the reactants and products. But for better usability, we tend to use symbolic forms of elements more in the reactions. One good question could be, why should we write a balanced chemical equation? Here we can discuss it. The law of conservation of mass by Einstein says that you cannot either create or destroy a mass or energy. If we use that logic, we would have same amount of atoms of each element on both of the product and the reactant sides, because the atoms cannot disappear or they cannot be created in any reaction, so we would have same number of atoms on both of the sides. The formation of new compounds and the energy released during the reaction are usually the results of breaking of old bonds and creating of new chemical bonds. Now let's take a very simple example. Sodium metal reacts with chlorine gas to produce sodium chloride or table salt. Now there is still something not right with this equation. If you look closely at the numbers of the elements, if you notice, you can see that on the left side there is one sodium atom and two chlorine atoms, but on the right side along with one sodium atom there is only one chlorine atom. That means on the left side there are two chlorine atoms, but on the right hand side there is only one, and because of that this equation is an unbalanced equation. To learn properly about chemical reactions, you need to know how to balance a chemical equations. It is actually quite important to solve or fix a chemical reaction or equation which is unbalanced. It is better to start balancing with the compound which has maximum atoms in it, but if we wish we can start from any of the compounds. Compound could be both from the reactant side or the product side. Here we have chlorine and table salt. Each of them has two atoms. Now we can preferably select any one of them. I can either choose the chlorine or table salt. In order to balance the equation, we need to make sure that there are same numbers of atoms of the each elements on both of the sides. We need to make sure that there are same numbers of chlorine and sodium atoms on both of the sides. The number of atoms by changing the number of participating elements or compounds in the reaction. Point to be noted, you can only put numbers on the left side of the elements atoms, not on the right side. Change the number at the right side because the number at the right side defines the number of atoms of any particular element in the molecule or compound. So if we change that, the molecule structure or the molecule itself will change. Now we need to notice that what is mismatching from the product side. Here we can see that there is more chlorine in the reactant side than the product side, and we can have some options here. The options here could be to add more chlorine to the product side or to add less chlorine in the reactant side or to add more sodium metal in the reactant side. Let's see which of them. Actually on the product side we cannot add any more chlorine because NaCl or table salt won't react or form any kind of compounds with chlorine, and also you cannot add any more chlorine into sodium chloride. Next option is to deplete some chlorine or to add less chlorine in the reactant side. Actually the process is somewhat usable. To deplete some chlorine, if we deplete some chlorine we have to use half a molecule of the chlorine, and actually that is usable in some cases, but in a vast way it is more recommended to use whole numbers, but actually you can use that, it's not completely wrong. Better option could be to add some more sodium. Now as their ratios match we have to add some more product to balance the reaction. Actually still something is missing from the reaction. The problem with the reaction is the reaction actually doesn't mention what state the reactants or the products are in this reaction. The physical states of the products and the reactants, it can be either gaseous, liquid, solid, or even aqueous. You can use S to denote solid, L to denote liquid, G to denote gaseous, and AQ to denote aqueous. Let's look forward to some more chemical reactions. One we have is the burning of magnesium metal in presence of oxygen in air. We can balance the equation similarly. There is more oxygen on the left side or the reactant side. First we need to add more magnesium in the left side, and then we need to match the amount of magnesium and oxygen to the right side. In an equation, first we need to write the unbalanced chemical equation, and then we need to balance any of the elements in a such way that both on the product side and the reactant side there are same numbers of atom of the particular elements, and then we need to change the ratio or the numbers of participating compounds in the chemical reaction in a such way that for all the elements there are same numbers of atom on the product and the reactant sides. It's all about balancing chemical equations. Now let's see what we have there. And now we will talk about the types of reactions. The major types of reactions which here are mentioned are addition, combination reaction, decomposition reaction, and there are now replacement and double replacement reaction, and after all there are oxidation and reduction reactions. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.